Hi, in this video, I'm talking about the movie You May Only Kiss the Bride, which you can watch here on YouTube on Harvesters TV. So this is a very interesting movie. It's a Christian movie. So it is basically about this lady Toke who has been very unlucky with love. So she just turned 31 and she's just like frustrated about, how this wasn't how she planned her life to be. Her plan was at the age of 25, she'll be married. At the age of 30, she'll be done having kids. But just look at her on her 31st birthday. Still no boyfriend, still no marriage. So she was just like very frustrated about the whole thing. Then she goes on a quest of finding love because she heard on the radio that, the place to find good men, marriageable men, responsible young men to marry are found at the church. So she decides to undergo this project of getting a ring by 32. So she was going to, go to church, become a worker, then potentially find her husband. And coupled with the fact that, two of her best friends are both married, of course, and now they are both, expecting mother. So she was like, why is she the only one that's left behind? Coupled with the societal pressure and, of course, pressure from her dad, like always talking to her about when is she going to bring a man home. Like a lot of things were just in play, and she just felt like finding somebody to settle down with, like finding the right man was her priority. Hence, she started going to church. And yes, so to find out if she actually found love at church, to find out if she found her dream man in church, you should definitely check out the movie. The movie was produced by Daniel Etim Effiong, which is very interesting. And executive producer is Bolaji Udo, who is the pastor of Harvesters Church, and also executive produced by Daniel Etim as well. So I don't know if this is Daniel's first, movie project, but it was nice to see, this body of work. And for the actors in this movie, we have the character Toke, who was played by Dorcas Arike. I really loved this lady in this movie because she was so relatable. She brought this realness and this, relatability to the character Toke because most of the things she was going through, we've dealt with it, we've been through it. So, this whole frustration of, meeting the wrong man, if it's not, he's lying to you, he's cheating on you. So she was just like unlucky with love. And there was just this her ex that she just always went back to, despite the fact that the guy was a player, he was not trustworthy, but she just kept falling into that trap of going back to him and making excuses for her. But she had things going for her, like her life was good, she had a good job, she was healthy, but in the relationship aspect of her life, she wasn't doing so well. So her plan was to get proposed to before she clocks 32, or on her 32nd birthday. So that was like her goal because she was just like feeling stuck, feeling left behind. And I really loved, how things played out in the movie. Get to see the character Upong, who was played by Daniel Etim. So it was very nice to see him in this role. Of course, we've seen him in similar roles before, but in this movie, we get to see a more, Christian, love, a more like Christian type of love from his perspective, which was really beautiful to see. And certain scenes in the movie, he will be giving you pastor vibes, but he was very intentional about the way he felt for this lady Toke. And I loved, how open and honest he was about his relationship with God, and his ideal godly relationship. Wasn't hiding anything, he wasn't lying, he was like what you see is what you get. It was very refreshing to see. Then of course we get to see Toke's besties in this movie. So we have Didi, who was played by Munachi Abi. I enjoyed seeing her in this movie, of course. She was married, she had a daughter who was, I think, sharing the same birthday with Toke, and she was an expectant mother. She was a friend that was very supportive and very loving to Toke. She was also somebody that cheered Toke on because she felt like Toke is living like the dream. She's living like she has achieved so much for herself. For her, although she loves her family, she loves being a mom and she loves catering to them, but she had like her own dreams and aspirations which she had to put on hold because of family and everything. I also get to see her second bestie Rachel, who was played by Teniola. This babe, like, I just love seeing her in movies. Like, I enjoy her performances so much, and she acts this girlfriend bestie vibe very well. I just feel like that is just who she is. Like her character seems so real, like her character seems so herself. I don't know. It just seemed like this is her personality. And she was a very confident babe. And she was just like cut through, basically telling Didi how it is. She's that friend that would go on social media to stalk somebody you just started talking to or somebody you've just met so you can get the tea on the person. So also she was married, of course, and she just found out she was pregnant. So she was also to struggle with the insecurities that came with it, how her body would change and if her husband would look at her the same way. So everybody had, things they were going through. But all in all, these three ladies, they had this very close knit friendship, and it was a very healthy friendship, of course. And of course, we get to see the character Richard, who was played by Prince Nelson. So he was Tucker's ex, the one that keeps coming back, the one that just won't let her be, won't let her move on from him. And he did his thing very well. He's just that annoying ex who thinks he can just come with gifts, shower you with gifts, and one silly apology and think all is well in the world. But he did good in his role. Then of course we get to see Pastor Balaji in this movie as, of course, he played his pastor, role. Then of course we get to see his wife, Pastor Omo do, which was really, really nice to see. I really loved the conversation she had with Toke in this movie. Like it just opens your eyes to like so much more. Like you need to find yourself first before you find somebody to attach your life to. Like know who you are, know what you're looking for before jumping into a marriage. And of course have a very strong relationship with God, because like I said, it is a Christian movie, so the movie is based on faith, of course, like trying to build a relationship with God. And it was very apparent in Toke's life, like despite the fact that okay, she has been looking for this thing all along. She has been looking for this marriage, Mr. Right guy. But when she finally got the ring, she still felt empty. She still felt something was missing. So that's just to tell you that if you don't have Christ, there's a space, like there's this emptiness that you feel. You feel incomplete, despite all the money you have, all the wealth you have, the lifestyle you may have. But if you just living a life without Christ, you're living incomplete. You have something that's missing essentially, which is what Tucker gets to realize when she finally accepts Jesus into her life as her personal Lord and Savior. So she feels this wholeness, she feels this completeness in her spirit. And that's just to tell us that be the person you want to be, have that strong relationship with God. Because having God in your life, he would be the center of your life, and everything will just work in alignment to his plan and his will for your life, essentially, which is just how the story ended. Because everything she wanted came to pass in her life. Like everything worked together for her good eventually, but without God it will not have been possible. So we should not go into relationships for the wrong reasons. We should not stay in relationships for the wrong reasons as well. We should not be enticed by material things. You should not have sex at the top of your mind when you're getting to know somebody. Actually get to know and understand who this person is and see if that is who God wants you to be with. Because marriage, like we all know, it's not a walk in the park. It's not a one day thing. It's for a lifetime. And I loved how this movie answered a lot of questions in regards to your relationship with God, your work with God, finding the right partner, and like what you actually should be doing. The whole thing with sex before marriage, like just a whole lot of things. Like this movie just answers. It's a very, very interesting movie, and we get to learn a lot from it. We get to take away a lot from the movie. And of course, it shows us the importance of having a very strong relationship with God. Just imagine somebody that did not used to go to church, that did not even used to pray. So now hearing from God, that is so beautiful to see, and to see how her relationship with God has grown to the point that she was hearing him talk to her. Do you understand? It's such a beautiful thing to experience. It's such a beautiful thing to walk with God and see how everything would align, because you are now working with the one who makes all things possible, makes impossible things possible. And also in watching this movie, you get to see that having a relationship with God is not the one you have when your parents used to drag you to church when you were born and you were taken to church. Like now that we've grown up, we need to know and experience God for ourselves, which is also what we get to see happening in this movie. And it also shows like not allowing pressures of society or the pressures of life or your fear and your worry of when is it going to be my own to make you settle for less, make you settle for somebody you're not supposed to be with. Because making a mistake in marriage is going to affect your destiny, because you will be tied to somebody. So imagine if this babe actually decided to marry Richard, she would not have gotten the life that she deserved. She would not have gotten the dream marriage that she wanted. So you should be very prayerful and careful when it comes to such vital decisions in our life, and not just put God first. Like, let God go before you. Then you'll see how beautiful things will turn out for you. And the movie is not in any way saying that every guy in church is, a good guy. It's not saying every guy in church is going to be like, ubong, but it just tells us that we should be very aligned with God's plan for our lives. We should be one with Him, so He will direct us right, essentially. Yeah. So just align your life with Christ, and every other thing would work in your favor, essentially. So it's just a refreshing movie to watch, honestly. If you're looking for something to watch this Valentine period, then go check out May Only Kiss the Bride on Harvesters TV. You'll definitely enjoy watching it. If you're new to my channel, please hit the subscribe button, like if you enjoyed this video, check out my other videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.